Okay, and it's enough of me. Thank you so much, sir, and the whole scene is yours.
Thank you. Then I'll start sharing my screen. That's
Yeah, thank you.
starting. I was planning literally to show two very simple tricks, tips to quickly optimize Power BI semantic model, as we spoke. And yeah, it's literally available for anyone who works with Power BI. You don't necessarily need to know any programming languages. You just need to understand how Power BI stores the data and how you can help Power BI's internal engine to optimize semantic model with these two simple techniques. So what I have here and what you can see on your screen is currently I'm in the Power Query editor and I connected
Yeah.
to a table called fact chat. So we have just one table for the purpose of this demo. This table was taken from a real life example. This is a table that stores the data about interactions from customer support with clients from this company and stores the data about chats, online chats between the customer support department and customers. So for this example here, I want you to focus on two columns. So these two, date, TM start, UTC, and chat rating, because those two columns are the ones that we are going to optimize in this short demo, short example. Date TM start UTC stores the information about the chat starting date in the UTC time zone. And this column is of date time data type. And then we have a chat rating column, which is essentially a chat satisfaction rating submitted by the customer. It's stored as a decimal number with 5 digits precision. So as you see, there are 5 digits after the decimal point. And before I show you how to optimize semantic model in literally 5 clicks, let's go and check our starting point for this model and understand the size of the model and specific columns. For that purpose, I'm going to use a fantastic free tool called DAX Studio. Okay, so there we go. Let's open Power Query Editor again, and I'll just refresh DAX Studio. And now, if we go to summary, you see that the total size of my model is 600 and let's say 60 megabytes. And if we go back and expand my fact chat table, you'll see that the most expensive column is this date TM start UTC. It takes around 440 megabytes, just one single column. And my other column,
cardinality.
Yes, that's what we are going to optimize. To give you a small hint, and also for chat rating, you see that it's 10 megabytes, but let's now focus on first on this optimizing this column, which has a high cardinality. The problem here is, if you're wondering why the size of this column is so huge, you may want to refer to, there are many articles on the internet.
Because there are many unique values in this column.
Exactly. That's correct. And the higher the cardinality of the column, meaning, as you said, the more distinct values in the column, it is harder for Vertipack, that's the engine that stores the data when you use Power BI, to optimally compress the data. And this consequentially leads to a bigger data model footprint and slower queries. Because, you know, Power BI relies on keeping data in memory. So the larger the memory size of your data model, the slower your queries will be. And yes, so before we jump into modifying semantic model structure, it's of key importance, I would say, to check with your business stakeholders and users that are going to use this report if your decisions could potentially impact data accuracy and if a modified semantic model will meet their expectations. So the main question here is, what is the lowest level of detail or granularity for displaying the data in the report? From my experience, in 99% of cases, when we talk about analytical reports, it's fine to show the data on a daily level. On some rare occasions, you might want to include analysis per hour, but creating analytical reports to display numbers per minute, that is very, very extremely isolated requirement. So in our case, the requirement is to analyze data on a daily level. So why should we store the information about hours, minutes, and seconds here? So I will just go and simply change the data type of this column from date time to date. And once I hit...
It reduces the cardinality, this action.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to show you. So once I hit close and apply, let's wait and see what is now the cardinality of this column and how this cardinality impacts the overall data model size. So let's wait for a few moments for this query to load again.
By the way, I have read somewhere about the optimization in performance of Power BI, and it was talking about don't go to a higher, how to say, granularities. Don't go deep into the details, and for check what second and what minute and where exactly was the customer buying or purchasing something. It will cause damage to our performance if we go to details.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to store these details in your database, but for the reports, you probably don't need to see each and every detail, nitty-gritty detail of every transaction, so you can somehow aggregate your data and show data aggregated on a certain higher level of granularity. So if I now go to DAX Studio and just refresh my metrics, let's check our date TM start UTC. So instead of 8.8 million cardinality, we have now slightly more than 1,000. And instead of 440 megabytes, it's now 9 megabytes. So if I go to summary, you see that just by changing the data type, we reduce the data model size like
it's
2/3
of the previous model.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. And that's a good starting point for optimization. That's a quick and easy win to optimize data model size and make your queries run faster. Another thing that I wanted to show is also optimizing columns with high precision. Again, let's open Power Query Editor. I mean, in reality, how many times do our end users really need to see a value like 8.6174 or 5.2832 that we have here in our chat rating column here on the top?
It's too many details in one value.
Yes, exactly. In 99% of cases, it's absolutely acceptable to have this same number displayed as 8.62 or 5.28 and so on. So let's play safe and try to keep this as close as possible. So I'll go here and then go to transform and then round. So I'll click on round and then select that I want to round to 2 decimal places. So you see that now my columns became 8.62, 5.28, and so on and so on.
2 decimal numbers.
Exactly. Going back to check this column before we apply changes. So in this case, this column doesn't have so high cardinality, but still it's
big size.
It's big size, yes, it's big size. And this can be more optimal. So in the case that cardinality was even higher, the savings will be huger, so more large. So let's go and hit close and apply, and again wait for Power BI to reload this data.
Refresh.
Yes. Okay, and then reloading our metrics again in DAX Studio. So let's find our chat rating. Essentially, we reduce the cardinality to, instead of almost 5,000 to 1,000, and column size was reduced by 30%. And again, it was 2 clicks in Power Query Editor, and our column is 30% smaller. In terms of memory savings, this might look trivial compared to the gain we obtained by changing the date time column data type, but in large models, and especially, as I said, with higher cardinality, this technique can also result in significant memory savings. And one thing that I wanted to mention here, one more thing that I wanted to mention here is you might think that changing a data type of this column from a decimal number to a fixed decimal number, so from decimal number to fixed decimal number, which is currency, could produce a similar outcome, but that is not the true, because once you change to fixed decimal number, although you will see only 2 digits after the decimal point, in reality, fixed decimal number type is always stored with the 4 digit points after 4 digits after decimal point. So even though we don't see those 2 digits precision, additional 2 digits of precision,
it's already saved
it's stored.
on the
exactly, it's stored in the model.
Memory.
Yes, so that's why I did it with rounding. In this case, we really stored a different value with different precision. And in this case, rounding has much more impact on the column size than changing data type from decimal to fixed decimal number. And
so we could use fixed decimal number, but it would not have any impact on our data model size.
Very small impact. Very small impact. Yes. Yes, because now you see I deleted. Exactly. With the
got a significant impact on our model.
Exactly. What would happen if I change this now from a regular decimal number to fixed decimal number? It's that again you will see just 2 digits. But if I store a model like this, I will show you now. In the background, the database stores the data with 4 digits of precision. So even though you don't see it, it's stored. And I will show you now in this example that cardinality didn't change much compared to the original one. We have 5,000 cardinality. You will see that cardinality won't change, and the size of the column will not change so much when we apply this technique. So rounding works better in this specific use case.
Great, it was great. I haven't seen this trick before. I already used to change the data type from the SSAS OLAP in a tabular editor from I don't know, decimal to double from to decimal and the int 64, but I didn't see this trick before. Thank you, sir.
No problem. That's why we are here, to try to share knowledge and then help others to learn new things. Yeah.
I saw in previous week that your new course on optimizing data model have been released. Where platform did you share this course? On Udemy?
Yes.
I didn't.
No, it's on training.tips. Training.tips. So if you know those guys from Power BI Tips, Mike, Seth, and Tommy. So
yeah, I have seen the site.
Exactly. So they have a learning platform, training.tips, where you can find this course and many other courses from other Power BI and data experts. So yeah, it's worth checking what's included there. No problem.
It's worth buying, of course.
Yeah, hopefully, yes, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with optimization in Power BI. You know, I work in a large company in Middle East, in Iran, the greatest e-commerce digital. Maybe you have heard about. It's something like Amazon, you know, but domestically in Iran.
Okay.
Yeah, we have large and huge amount of data, and optimization is our goal.
Yes, whenever you have huge amount, that's what I'm telling people. If you have few thousands of rows, you probably don't care about these things. But if you have millions or I don't know, billions of rows, then every single saving, like 10% of saving, is huge. So that's why performance starts to matter.
Yeah,
so what I wanted to show you finally is once we store our information as a fixed decimal number, and remember we had 10 megabytes, so it's the same. And in terms of cardinality, instead of 4,800 something, we have 4,600 something. So in the background, the engine stores the data.
Changing cardinality.
Yes, although you see just 2 decimal places, in Power Query, What happens in reality that in the background 4 digits are stored, and that's why
I
you
can
don't.
see the data type was in Dex Studio was double before you change it to
Yes,
fixed decimal, and now
yes,
it's decimal.
yes, yes. So fixed decimal is basically decimal. So yeah,
I can see that.
yeah,
Thank you. It was
yeah.
great. You know, it was thrilling. I'm going to test it just after this meeting in our
Fantastic. Yeah, let
model
me know. Let me know if
Nikola.
it helped.
Yeah,
Let me know if it
yeah.
helped. Yeah, yeah.
I came back. I come back to you with the result. Hey,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nicola, I have saved memories.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Of course. Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's
Thank
what I
you
wanted
for
to
your
share.
great.
These two tips, and then you can now, of course, pack how you want in these 5 minutes. But those are two tips for optimization, quick tips that anyone, literally anyone, can apply very quickly,
Yeah.
without any programming or stuff like that.
Yeah, just by few clicks. The title of our meeting will be uh, optimized with 2 clicks. You know,
Yes, yes,
it's
and we
great
don't lie. So
title.
that's literally you saw. It's 2 clicks. So yeah.
Yeah, it was great to meet you here, sir, and I want your word and I want you promise me for next meetings if you had time, if you had energy for that, it will be our pleasure, it will be our honor to have you again on 5 Minute BIS. You
Thanks.
know,
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Absolutely.
I recall you with this title in my mind, the fourth person in the world in Power BI world. The first and second one are Marco Rosso and Alberto Ferrari. The third one is Reza Rad, yeah, you know, my
Yes, Reza
compatriot.
is legend. Reza legend. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's Iranian too, you know that.
Yes,
And
yes. I
the
met him. I
fourth
met him
one,
last month. We were together in San Antonio at the conference,
yeah, I saw
having a dinner.
your
He's a
photos,
great
yeah, the
guy. He's a
LinkedIn.
great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, Reza is my Superman, you know, my
Yes, he is.
idol.